have trouble asking for help because you think simply because you can do it, you should do it? Well, if that's you, this episode is absolutely for you. See you inside. Welcome to We've All Done It. I'm Kimberly Benoit, author, speaker, and strategic partner to leaders and organizations. Here's what this show's all about. We've all had a toxic boss or coworker, but have you ever stopped to ask whether you've been that person to someone else? Here's the thing. Every leader faces challenges and makes mistakes. What matters most is figuring out what's actually wrong, making smart adjustments, and getting back on track quickly. This show is real conversations about the mistakes leaders make, the patterns we fall into without meaning to, and the honest self-awareness it takes to do better. No shame, no judgment, just the truth and what to do with it. Let's go. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Kimberly Benoit, and I am so excited that you are here. We have wrapped up Your Strategic Advantage, the third leadership summit that we did this year. It's the final leadership summit in the series that we're doing this year. And I just want to start out by saying thank you all for making it so incredibly successful. All 163 of you that joined us from all over the globe. I am still quite blown away at everyone who showed up and everyone who helped make this event fantastic. From the speakers who gave of their time, for those of you who don't know, the speakers are not paid. And they really do commit to this of their own free will and their own free time. And to the attendees, all of you, my leaders, my C-suite, my middle managers, my aspiring leaders who showed up to learn about how to approach strategy from a different perspective, and also what are some things to think about that are affecting strategic planning today in real life, whether it's AI, whether it's marketing, whether it's your talent strategy. There's so many things right now that are at play. And I'm so grateful we could bring you some relatable, actionable insight as we all go into our strategic planning cycles to get us through the rest of the year, which is crazy to believe. We're already halfway through. So back to the big question. Do you have trouble asking for help? Well, do I have trouble asking for help? The answer is categorically yes. Like many small business owners, like many of you who are listening, I have this belief that if I just work hard enough and dig hard enough, there's not anything that I can't figure out. And so if I can figure it out, then why shouldn't I do it? Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's faster. Or at least I convince myself that it's easier or faster. When the truth is, it's the things that are not easy or not fast, that are not in your wheelhouse, that are actually sucking the life out. And that kind of hit a wall in the lead up to this event. So I think it's important to give you a little backdrop. So for the last two events, it has been pretty much a one-woman show. I have not had any outside support in the sense of creating the website, every email, every social media post, every social media graphic, all the email responses. So for people who had questions and follow-ups and sometimes follow-ups to the follow-ups, all of that was me. So whereas you guys got to show up for a good, quick 3-day event, and maybe you felt like that was long, and some people it is long, what I will tell you is it has been months of lead up, of work on my end to make sure that this is the best event possible for you as a leader and also for the people who are speaking and participating in the event. It's hard to believe it was a little over a year ago that I had this wild idea to try to see if we could pull off events like this. And now to complete the third one, I can tell you one thing's for sure. Can I do it alone? Yes. Should I do it alone? No. Categorically not. And that's what I want to talk about today, is the realization and how I hit the wall of just because I could doesn't mean I should. And in one particular area, I've kind of been upfront about this. I feel like I've talked about it, but maybe I haven't. I have a very deep love-hate relationship with all social media. I don't care if it's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, LinkedIn even. I find that we spend so much time in these places that frequently aren't productive. And candidly, the algorithms change so quickly that many times I get frustrated about not being able to find the information I want to find, or I'm not getting updates from people I really care about. And for me, it's just kind of, a cost of doing business, right? There are times when I love it when I get to see former colleagues of mine excelling and promoting and doing great things. But a majority of the time, that's not what I'm seeing. Majority of the time, I feel like it's people I never care about, et cetera, right? So I hate it. Short end. I just dislike it a lot. And also, I understand that what you have to do to get people to notice, to get your impressions to be there, even the people who say they want to follow you, to get it in their feeds, you have to have this magical formula, the right words and the right image. And I just find that that's very exhausting. But can I do it? Yes. Have I been doing it somewhat okay? Yes. But the truth was, a couple weeks before this event, I happened to be on a call with Jimmy Burrows. If that name sounds familiar, he is one of our panelists and talked about stakeholder influence. And I was talking to him about how I really felt like I had reached my threshold. That despite the fact that I had created all these graphics and done all these things, I was really frustrated that the reach just wasn't there. And candidly, I just didn't have the time to go sit and discuss it with Claude or discuss it with Chat or go try to figure out what was the tweak I needed to make. I just didn't have it in me to go do that because I had so many other things to do. Because the summit isn't the only thing I do. I do a podcast. I have clients, paying clients that need my time and attention. So again, just because I could doesn't mean that's what I should do. And in the conversation with him, he graciously told me about a resource, and I want to tell you that that one comment that led to that conversation, that led to a connection, fundamentally has changed me and has humbled me, extremely humbled me, because I ended up talking with a young woman who I've now brought on as my first virtual assistant. Hello, Lois. And because I know she's listening. And here's the thing. In 5 hours, she was able to create content and graphics that resonated so much better, looked so much better than anything I've ever created. And I just remembered sitting there when she sent me her first round of stuff. And she's like, hey, what do you think about this? And my jaw was on my desk because in a million years, in a million hours, I would have never created something half as good. And I had to face the reality that even though I could do some things, was it the best use of my time? Because what she was able to do in a couple hours would take me substantially longer to do. And then I would be drained and frustrated. And immediately I realized that I was exchanging, because I was spending time here, I wasn't actually putting time into things that actually would matter, that would actually make my business better, serve my clients better. And it was one of those moments that I was the problem. Because I was stubborn and believed that because I could, I should. And, I don't need to ask for help. I've got this all under control. Well, guess what? Technically, yes, but was that the best use of my time? As a leader, if I were my client, what would I tell my client to say? What would I say to my client? And I guarantee you, it's what I ultimately said, is I have been, what did they say? Shooting myself in the foot, cutting off my nose to spite my face. Like, I was making my life way harder than it needed to be. And guess what? It wasn't actually serving me or my business. It wasn't serving what I was trying to accomplish. So, if you notice an improvement in the graphics about 2 weeks before this last summit, then you saw the effect of me choosing to say no to the mantra of just because I can, I will. No, I made the decision to delegate that away, to take something that technically I can do, but gosh, is it not a strength of mine, and allow someone else to do it who is so much better at it. And it got me thinking about all the ways and all the places that we as small business owners or we as leaders just carry things on our back because we think it's easier, because we think it's faster, because we think it's cheaper, because we can do it. But the truth is, it's not a good use of your time, your energy, you as a human resource. And that was the wall I faced quite a bit during this moment. So I wish I could say it was just social media, but in sitting through many of the sessions, and I sit through all of them, but there were a couple that really kind of held a mirror to my face in the sense of it was the same thought. So I think about Lori Cartman and talking about how to create a strategic marketing plan and what's the difference between a strategy and a great tactical plan. And I had a moment where I was like, oops, that is me. Like, I thought I was doing it right. But truthfully, again, I was tricked into believing it was possible. Like I was doing a good thing. Why? Possibly because Claude said I was. But again, AI is simply a tool, right? AI is a tool. Use it. Don't let it use you. The other area where I really felt like I had an opportunity where I was head scratched, jaw on the floor, was in Brian and Stacy Heller's session talking about the legal risks of using AI in your business and the things you needed to do to plan for it. Again, I consider myself a very informed consumer and a very informed business person, and I still found myself flat-footed. Instead of reaching out and asking for help, I assumed I could just simply do it on my own. Well, I'm here to tell you that is changing. Because we can't do it on our own. And as much as all of the big AI boys want us to believe, AI is not the solution for everything. I think it's a good tool. It can help us in certain ways. But the reminder always keeps coming back to me that it's people who actually can sit down with some good critical thinking to look at what you're trying to accomplish and say, hey, this is my area of strength. Let me help you. So I just want to challenge you a little bit in this moment and think about in your day-to-day, where are you doing things because you can, but maybe you shouldn't. Maybe this is the moment to grow someone on your team, delegate it, and allow someone to gain a new skill set. Is it going to hurt in the beginning? Of course it is. The ramp-up time always is painful, but it allows your team to grow, and it allows you capacity to grow. And I think that's where I'm landing, is by giving myself space. Where else can I take this time and energy? What more can I do for myself, my business, my clients, by actually zeroing in on the things, the strengths that I have, and not grinding over things that I'm never really going to be good at doing? And candidly, if we're talking about AI, I might be putting myself in risk because I'm not smart enough to know the right answer. So I'll leave you with that. I simply would love for you to just think about where you could maybe do something different, where you could let go of something, not because you have to, but because it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing for you, and it's the right thing for your business. It's the right thing for your team. All right, everyone, I am so happy you are here. I can't wait to see you next week. We're going to have another great episode. And in the meantime, if you need anything, you know where to find me. Before I let you go, I want to speak directly to the business owners listening right now. If something about your team feels off, maybe people aren't performing the way you expected, or the same problems keep reoccurring, I want you to know that what you think the problem is and what the problem actually is are almost never the same thing. I help business owners find where their people and their systems are creating or blocking results, because the real issue is almost always hiding at the intersection of those two things. If that resonates with where you are right now, the fastest way to get really clear on what's going on is a free 30-minute consultation. It's not a pitch for me, there's no pressure, just a real conversation about what's actually going on. You can book at kimberlyjbenoit.com/consult. The link is in the show notes, and I'd love to talk to you.